Facebook Live. It's Tanessa here. I've had a lot of people asking me this week what I eat for breakfast, so I thought I'd make it right while I have you watching so you can see what I eat and get an idea, ask me questions if you have them. It's just before 7:30 in the morning on a Friday. I'm heading out for a hike this morning as it's one of my days off from training. So let's get started. So what I usually eat for breakfast, I always like to get my protein in the morning, and I always like to get my complex carbs and a little bit of fruit in the morning. I'm going to start with just making my eggs to start. So I always buy egg whites, and they come in a little 4-pack like this from Costco for like $8. And every quarter cup of egg whites you use is actually the equivalent of 2. So I eat anywhere from 6 to 8 egg whites in the morning. I kind of do it as a free pour because I've been doing this for a while. But the way I make my egg whites is not quite the same as everyone else. I make it in a mug because a lot of the times I'm on the run. I've got a lot of programming and stuff to do in the mornings here, or I'm heading off to the gym, and I find that the longer that I take to make my breakfast, the more stuff's going to get in my way. So I like to make it nice and easy. So I start with my egg whites, and like I said, I usually eat 6 to 8, which is the equivalent to 3/4 to a full cup of egg whites. And so I usually have my designated egg white mug. So what I'm going to do is I just pour it in here. If you want, you can use a measuring cup if you want to know exactly how many egg whites you're getting. I don't know if you'll be able to see in here, but it's like, it's probably like half full. So then, because egg whites don't have a lot of flavor all the time, I like to add in a whole egg. So I'll usually just crack that in, and then I'll grab a fork, and I will mix up the egg whites and the egg together with a fork. And so if you're just tuning in, I'm teaching how I make my eggs and egg whites in the morning as well as my breakfast, but without using a frying pan. It makes a lot of dishes, and I don't have a lot of time for that in the morning because I'm always out doing stuff in the morning. So I'm going to chuck it in the microwave, and I'm going to put it in for 1 minute 20, and I'm going to let that cook. So usually while I let that cook, I get my oatmeal going. So I keep my oatmeal in a big container like this so that it's easy to access. So it's pretty easy. I always stick with the same amounts every day. This is the way that I've learned to calorie count without calorie counting. Because I used to calorie count at one point, and that was what led me to success and educating myself on knowing what to eat when. This has helped a lot. So now I don't have to calorie count. I know exactly that a 1/3 cup of oatmeal is 120 calories. So those things, because of food logging, you just learn how to do. So I'm going to grab my bowl, and I'm going to have a 1/3 cup of oatmeal. I'm just going to pour it in the bowl. And I always like to add in chia seeds on top of that. So I keep my chia seeds in a little container like this, but the brand that I get is just the organic chia seeds from Costco. So what I do is I don't really measure it. It equals out to maybe about 2 tablespoons. So I'm just going to sprinkle these on top here. And then I usually just mix it up a little bit so it's kind of all mixed up. And then what I usually do with this is I like to flood it with water so that the oats soak up a little bit. So everything's nice and quick and easy today, that's for sure. So I'm going to add a little bit of water in, which I'll show you in a sec. So I'm just adding it directly from the sink, and it kind of makes it a little swoopy. I don't know if you can see it here. So that's what's happening there. I'm going to put this aside for a sec because the microwave just went off. I'm going to grab my eggs. So at this point, your eggs aren't going to be fully cooked, and that's okay because I'm going to get you to use your fork, and I'm going to get you to mix it up. So what you'll notice is there will be some parts that aren't cooked yet, and there will be some parts that are starting to cook. So I just like to mix it up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back in the microwave for another 1 minute and 20. And then my eggs will be done after that. But so that's that. Let's get back to our oatmeal. So we have the oatmeal and chia seeds in here. I love the chia seeds because they add a little bit of protein, they add a little bit of fats, and they add a lot of fiber, which is super nice. So we've got our oatmeal here, and then the last ingredient, I've got my oatmeal and my chia seeds. I'm going to just grab it here. Every morning, blueberries. I love them. So on average, 3/4 cup of blueberries is about 80 calories. I maybe have half a cup. Again, I'm not really measuring. I'm just kind of going to pour them in here. coffee. It keeps the calorie count low. And I also always enjoy putting stevia in. It really ramps up the sweetness for me, and it doesn't have any calories in it. And stevia is always going to be better than your other sweeteners like aspartame. So aspartame is a type of sugar that's found in things like diet soda, and a lot of those drink mixes, so like the Mios and the Crystal Lights and stuff like that, and the aspartame. There's lots of studies done. It's been shown to sometimes cause bladder cancer in rats, and although those are rats and not humans, I like to stay away from it when possible. It doesn't mean I don't have it sometimes, but it is nice to stay away. So got my coffee with my stevia and my skim milk. So the microwave just went off again. I'm going to grab my eggs out. When you're doing this, make sure you're using a tall mug, because sometimes the eggs do like to fluff over the top, and if you're using a really small mug and you put too many eggs in, you're going to get an egg volcano, and we don't want that. So I'm going to put that aside. I'm just going to put my oatmeal with my blueberries in. So we've got this again. We're going to do this for 1:40 this time. So the eggs were done for 1:20 twice with stir in between. Oatmeal's going in for 1:40. So I have that cooking there, and now I got to take care of my eggs. So I've got a bowl, and I'm just going to put that here. And with my fork, you want to make sure, because you were using the raw egg whites and eggs to stir, that you just you give it a quick rinse. Because you don't want to be mixing raw with cooked food. So I have my eggs here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my fork. I'm going to go in, and I'm going to sweep right around the edge and detach the eggs from the side of the cup and put them in the bowl. So the number one thing that I think I've learned from this is, as soon as you are done with your cup, you want to rinse it out with a scrub brush right away, because that egg does have a tendency to cook onto the side of the mug, and if you want to keep your mugs without eggs on the side, that's a really good way to do it. So now that I've got my eggs out, I usually just take my fork, and I'm going to dice them up, because they do come out a little bit more attached to each other. So then there's a variety of things I like to put on my eggs in the morning, and this is how I make it different every day. Sometimes I like to put on salt, a little bit of salt. Sometimes I like to put on salsa right out of the jar, something even fresh stuff in the garden is really nice. What I think I'm going to do today, I'm just going to reach in my fridge here. I'm a really big fan of hot pepper sauce. Sometimes I've seen people do sriracha. So whatever you want to do to add a little bit of flavor to your eggs, because if you're eating them every morning, they can get a little bit bland. All right, so then I'm just going to mix it up with the HP sauce here. And then I've got my scrambled eggs. They're all ready, and they were made in 2 minutes and 40 seconds in the microwave, so that's super quick. In this, there's going to be about, let's see, anywhere from probably 25 to 30 grams of protein in here, because each quarter cup of egg whites that I had you use was 2 egg whites, which is the equivalent of 7 grams of protein. So if I'm using between 3/4 and a cup per day, I'm getting anywhere from 21 to 28 in the egg whites alone, and the eggs have anywhere from 7 to 9. So it's a great way to start the day, get a lot of protein. This is super important to me because it lets me maintain my muscle mass, and protein is one of those amazing things that's it actually affects some of the hormones in the small intestine and causes digestion to slow down. And why that's a really good thing is because you will stay fuller longer. A lot of my clients come in and they don't eat protein in the morning. A lot of the times what they're eating are a lot of carby, sugary cereals, even cereals that they think are good, which really have a lot of sugar in them. They're eating just yogurt. They're making a fruit smoothie. And protein is always the big thing that I see missing from my clients' meals in the morning. So what I would get them to do usually is, if they're not a fan or don't have time for the eggs, 2 hard-boiled eggs is a great way to go. Getting in 3/4 cup of cottage cheese is another great source of protein in the morning. Some people like to cut out chicken and just take that as little strips in the morning. There's lots of options. You really want to get some protein in the morning. Like I said, it satiates you, it maintains your muscle mass, and it gets you going throughout the day. You won't hit as many of those midday crashes because you're not starting off with a bunch of sugar in the morning. So my microwave went off about 2 minutes ago. So now taking this out of here, I'm going to have a whole bunch of hot blueberries. you can see everything's kind of gotten all cooked up here. So then what I like to do is take the back of the spoon and I like to smash the blueberries down like this until it's pretty much one consistency. So I'm just going to do that really quick. So you could even do this along with me if you want. It takes a little longer than usual because I'm stopping to chit chat with you guys. But so now you can see everything is blue. It's warm. It's super hot. I usually find I have to wait a couple minutes to eat this because it's very warm. But the blueberries make the oatmeal super tasty and it keeps it nice and warm. So now I've got my egg whites in one bowl. I've got my blueberry and oatmeal in the other bowl, and I'll usually just head over to the table with my cup of coffee. And that'll be my morning breakfast. So like I said, if we add it all together, I'm probably maybe looking at an entire breakfast here of 390 to 400 calories. And I know that now, so that I factor other factors in like that during the day when I'm making my meal choices. I'm getting 25 to 30 grams of protein right off the bat. Fiber is in that oatmeal, it's in the blueberries, it's in the chia seeds. I'm getting my complex carbs. Because I'm going on a hike now, or whether you're doing a workout, I'm going to have energy throughout the entire day, and it's going to fuel me and make sure I stay very full. Drinking lots of water throughout the day, and making sure that you're just enjoying what you're eating. For me, this is something that I actually really look forward to every morning. It tastes really good. I've kind of perfected what I like. So if you have any questions or comments about either what I'm eating or what you're eating, do leave them in the comments below and I'll get back to you. If you have questions, if you're getting enough protein or what's a good substitute for this, I'd love to chat, but thank you for tuning in, and I'm so excited to eat this breakfast so that I can get out on this hike. Have an excellent Friday, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.